Now, a lady who made a lot of money off of my name, named Helen Holdridge, she wrote the book Mammy Pleasant. To even name a book, Mommy, that supposes to tell my story, Mammy Pleasant, is a profound slap in my face, because I gave an interview in San Francisco to the papers, and I told them in no uncertain terms, I am not Mammy Pleasant. That is not my name. I am Mammy to some, but not to everyone. In fact, there was a priest who wrote me a letter, and he addressed it to Mammy Pleasant. I would not so much as waste my own paper on him. And I wrote a note back on his own paper and told him that was not my name. I am Mary Ellen Pleasant. And I sent it back to him. But this Helen Holdridge character, who not only wrote a book about Mammy Pleasant, she wrote about Mammy Pleasant and her partner. You will hear more about this. She wrote about Mammy Pleasant and my recipes because I was a very well-known cook, renowned for my skill. She tells a version that I was bought by America's Price, a Missourian, for $600 and sent to New Orleans, and that there I was educated by nuns at St. Solene's Convent. Well, their convent. But because it was too dangerous to have a literate negress, I was moved to Cincinnati to live with dear friends. And those friends were called Mr. and Mrs. Lewis Alexander Williams. Moved as a bond servant to these friends, when Price died a few years later, it claims that then I was shipped off to Nantucket to serve the hussies. Whether or not I was ever enslaved will continue to be one of debate. Of course, you must know that in those times, it did not serve me to be considered once enslaved, as that spoke to your pedigree and to your level of intelligence and impacted even what doors opened to you. Many, though, reveled in this idea that I was indeed born in slavery, because it provided a different narrative, one of hope that someone born in slavery could rise to the heights that I did, drawing attention to the distance that I had traveled in their minds, literally and figuratively, from enslavement to becoming, by all accounts, the wealthiest woman in San Francisco, negress, white, or otherwise. There was much debate about not just my race, but even my color. How is it that one woman is described as being light enough to pass for white by some and simultaneously described by others as coal black? As I stated earlier, it seems that people have narrated me through their own lenses, whatever they may be. Of course, we know that for 19th century Americans, skin color served as an index for a range of attributes, including level of education, sophistication, intelligence, and even your ability to control yourself.